Restrepo was a documentary made in 2010 by Tim Hetherington and Sebastian Younger. This is a documentary about the U.S. intervention in Afghanistan. At the time of this video essay, the war is over, and it is in fact the longest war the U.S. has ever been involved in. However, in 2010, the war had been going on for a little bit under a decade. At this point, the war in Afghanistan was outshadowed by the war in Iraq. Many of us in the U.S. thought that the war in Afghanistan was under control. It was in our military's hands. However, Restrepo showed a different reality. Restrepo showed the U.S. military undermanned and not really integrated into the local culture. They look just as lost, if not more lost, than our troops fighting in Iraq. One of the scenes that I saw when I first watched this in college that still sticks to me till this day is what I call the helicopter scene. Let's explore this together. So this part of the documentary starts after a firefight where the U.S. troops have successfully repelled an attack, but they also contributed to some civilian casualties. As they're dealing with the fallout, a helicopter flies on in, and I will never forget the visuals as this helicopter is blowing up smoke and dust and dirt all over the Afghans. I thought it at that point, and I feel it even more. Such an insult to injury type of moment. People in the village were wounded, kids were unalived, and now you come in with a loud noise machine that's blowing smoke and dirt and dust and everything into the same Afghans.
This is Colonel Aslan. He's my boss. You know the one I always tell you?
We
brought the colonel down there to talk to him, and we did that because basically we felt bad for the fact that we injured some of their kids and that we killed some of the locals.
The ACM that comes in and gives you $5 to carry this stuff around the mountains and tells you that you're doing a jihad and go fight the Americans is doing nothing for you except making you a slave for $5 as he hides on a mountain because he won't fight my soldiers. These foreigners, they don't fight my soldiers. They hide on a mountain, in a cave, under a rock, and talk on a radio and pay your sons a small amount of money to go ahead and shoot at my soldiers, and my soldiers end up killing your sons.
And then a higher up in the military hierarchy comes in to give a little lecture. Any of you watching can probably see how out of touch this official is, right?
This is the deal we'll make. Everybody needs a job, and we're going to try to bring progress here in some jobs. And Captain Kearney will talk to the Shura on Friday about some job projects.
The whole time we were there, we were thinking, okay, when's it coming? When's it coming? They're gonna hit us. When's it gonna happen?
He's trying to lecture the Afghans about not collaborating with the terrorists and the Taliban, etc. Who's the one that's more out of touch? Who's the one that's more likely seen as an invader? Who's the one that's more likely seen as a foreigner? Who's the one causing more damage to the local village?
Already dead, and 10 of the females and kids already. So they are injured. You know, show me which of them is the Taliban. There is no Taliban.
For those of you who've never seen this documentary before, it is quite a good window into a period of America. At this point, there were some cracks in America's hegemony, but the world still thought of America as the superpower, the hyperpower even. I will warn viewers, the editing was very jarring. I was not a big fan of it. And although they call it a verite style of documentary, I call it an iMovie style. The editing just felt too disjointed, and a lot of storylines were just never really elaborated on when they were planted in our brain. That being said though, this scene that I broke down still sticks out to me till this day. So maybe it's worth it just to watch this documentary, just to see this helicopter scene. For those of you who've seen the documentary, let me know what you think. For those of you who watch it later, feel free to comment at a later date. Thank you guys so much, and if you want more documentary breakdowns, I will do more. Talk to you soon.